loads of focus, obviously, on the event this weekend. Loads of pressure on Daniel and everything else. Everyone's talking about the heavyweight division at the moment, fresh after the Dillian Whyte shock defeat in some ways last weekend. All eyeballs now onto Daniel. But if I know you, Sonny, in your career so far, you like to steal the headlines, my friend, with the performance or two. So I'm sure you've got something in store for us this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I've prepared meticulously for this one. I mean, it should be really my hardest test, maybe. You know, he's coming off a great run of form, Thomas Asomba. Not only that, you know, he's an Olympian. And he's just all-round good fighter, do you know what I mean? A good, honest pro. So I know I've got to be very switched on for this one. I know I have. But yeah, I think I've shown enough in my past performances, and I've done a lot in this camp to really look to put a good performance in on Saturday. I always like stealing the show, so hopefully that happens once more. I mean, you're never going to be the A fighter over someone like Daniel Dubois. I mean, he's a great up-and-coming talent. I was on Team G with him. I've known him since he was little. I mean, he used to spar my brother, believe it or not.
No way.
But yeah,
no
I mean,
way.
Yeah, I swear to God, you can ask him. Where I think, obviously, Daniel was a few years younger than my brother. He's younger than me, Daniel, believe it or not. But yeah, I think when it must have been about 40-something kilos, they used to spar down the Repton. So yeah, we've known Daniel a long time, and Lynn as well. So we've known Daniel a very long time.
Wow, that's going to be the worst assignment ever for Charlie. Go and give Daniel a move around.
I think Charlie was bigger than Daniel at this point.
Oh my God, that's insane! Absolutely insane. You yourself, mate, let's be honest, since the Ryan Farag fight, you know, it's just been test after test after test, and you've been rising to the occasion. You must be buzzing with the way things are panning out for you and working out for you.
Yeah, I mean, the only times I've not really been as active as I'd like is when I've had little injuries. I mean, after the Granados fight, I'd snapped two ligaments in my ankle, sorry. And then after the Marcel fight, I'd damaged like both knuckles, do you know what I mean, quite badly, and had to have a lot of rehab and a lot of rest for them. But they're all fine now. And I'm hopefully stay back active, get this one out of the way with, in a good performance, and then look to push on for a big fight at the end of the year. I know Frank's been talking about world title fights. We'll see if we can get someone cornered for that. If not, just keep the ball rolling. I mean, I think Asomba's my 10th opponent out of 15 with a winning record. Do you know what I mean? I've not really had all too many easy touches, especially not with the long rounds. I know you obviously have your journeyman at the 4 and 6 rounders, but I've been hitting, 10 rounders now for 10, 12 rounders now for a long time. And I've been active and I've been busy, and I've done probably a hell of a lot for someone that's only been a pro around 3 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it just feels like every fight you've had just seems to be taking you a step forward. You haven't had any of those fights where you think, oh, it's a bit of a backward step, this one for Sonny. Asomba feels like the next logical step forward in this run of 7 or 8 fights that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, they've all been TV title fights, so I've been given the opportunities, and I've taken every single one of them. I mean, I've not turned down no fights. I've been pestering my management, my promoter to get me out. BT and Frank Warren have been wanting me for all the London fight dates, really. I mean, the only ones I haven't taken were when, like I said, I was coming back from injury or recovering. And, like, I'm ready to go. Like, this has probably been my best camp of my career, and I feel like a lot of people around me will vouch for that. I think the shape I come in will show testament to that. I mean, I'm not the most shredded or trimmed down fighter. I never have been. But I feel like you can see quite a vast improvement from my body to, any of my other fights, really. And the way I've kept my weight down as well for the first time, I haven't really had much to lose at all. I mean, I'm not trained this week. I think I trained Monday, when I was still in Sheffield. Since I've been down there, I've not done a single thing. I've still been eating. Yeah, I'm good to go. Even though the hotel nearly poisoned me yesterday, giving me raw chicken. But apart from that, I'm good to go.
The hotel give you raw chicken? What was that all about?
Oh, don't. Halfway through my meal that I had after my check weight, bit into it, and it was completely raw straight through. But I mean, I'm all right. So no one's getting sued just yet. But obviously, if I lose against Asomba, I know what to blame now, don't I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take it back to the hotel.
Something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Listen, you've got a style that's, while it's made for TV, the slipping, the moving, the punching from all angles. It is a pleasure. As a fight fan, it's a pleasure to watch you work. But it's also a style that suits crowds, and there ain't going to be no crowd. And I kind of feel like that's disappointing when I see Sonny Edwards fight. There needs to be an arena full of people to appreciate that work.
I mean, maybe, but I feel like what usually happens in my fights is because they're kind of they follow along like a similar kind of pattern of work. They're missing and I'm hitting them just regularly. You know, I'm not the biggest puncher in the world, so there's not like oohs and ahs. But the first couple of rounds, the fans are getting excited behind each punch. But after that, it gets kind of subdued, I think, because they're just getting used to me hitting them clean. That tends to be the pattern of it. I don't know. I mean, I've travelled all around the world. I boxed. I didn't really. I've been a few places around the world, but I fought probably my hardest ever fight in a little sports hall in Finland with very few people there. No real noise, atmosphere. A couple of the GB lads maybe shouting like "you should jab," something like that. But so I'm used to it. You know, I mean, it don't really affect me. Nothing really phases me whether there's 20,000, 100,000, 10 or no one there. So, I mean, I get in there, and the only thing I'm worried about is the opponent's two gloves trying to hit me head. That's it.
Yeah,
to be honest.
absolutely. Listen, you're in a weight division that's notoriously difficult to make a lot of money in, to make a lot of headlines with. Was part of the reason of Charlie coming over that you guys can kind of double up? And because listen, I think London now is desperate for an Edwards double header world title fight in 2021. We all know that, and I'm sure Frank is teasing that. But is that part of the reason where you think, you know what, let's come together and make money together and sell as a bit of a double act?
I don't know about that. I think every decision we both make is for the better of our own careers. I mean, it would have made sense for me turning pro straight away just to go with my brother. I mean, he just fought for a world title, or he had a world title lined up when I was turning pro, etc. And that was an option, but my main priority was working with MTK. I mean, they pretty much worked with me before I'd even turned pro in some ways. I'd been over there a couple of times for training camps. My brother was based over there. So they were my priority. I've seen the way they've looked after him, and they've looked after me the same. Do you know what I mean? So they advised me against, just siding with Matchroom just because it's the go-to thing. Even though obviously they were a great setup Matchroom, they did do a lot for my brother. But I know a lot of people say about loyalty, but at the end of the day, it's business, and promoters understand that, managements understand that. It's usually the boxers that don't understand that. But Charlie got to a point in his career where it went a bit flat. Or after the Martinez, it was a bit, well, what we're going now, what are the options? And he weren't really taken away by the options that was getting laid out in front of him by the other side. So when Frank made a very good offer and planned out his pattern, Charlie's also seen how I've been treated and how I've been promoted and like the good side of it. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been very busy, very active. Once you're a good product, you get looked after well. Do you know what I mean? I think that's clear. So Charlie's got still a lot to give. Hell of it. He's been a world champion at still a young age. You know what I mean? He's only 27. So really, you'd think there's going to be at least another peak or two from this point. You'd hope so anyway. So maybe a little bit we can sort of bounce off each other a bit more. We have a lot of the same fans, and then there's a lot of been times where I say I fought one week, he's fighting the next weekend, or the other, or vice versa, or a couple of weeks, and at the end of the day, 2 nights out for people wanting to buy tickets, and that it gets a bit, so we're thinking put us on the same night, and then we'll have all our people there, and it'll be a good turnout, which it probably will be. I mean, neither of us are, well, Charlie's a good ticket seller, I'm not the worst, you know what I mean? I've always done more than what's expected of me, even though I'm based up in Sheffield, so I'm not running tickets around to people, I'm not, doing all the groundwork to sort of push those numbers up, but I've got people that travel all over, and so does Charlie, so it would be nice to get on the show, because I think we've only ever done it once before in our life, and that was at Circus Tavern, as amateurs when I was about 12 years old, 13 years old, so
no way.
That's the one time it's happened. So it's a little pipe dream, and who knows? Maybe we can make history about being brothers winning world titles on the same night. I don't know if it's ever happened before in this country. I couldn't tell you that, but I know it'd be a little bit of our personal history anyway. So
absolutely, it'd be awesome. In terms of the weight division and in and around the flyweight division, as I said earlier, you guys have got to work twice as hard to earn real money, to get the real fan attention, to get the real spotlight. Does it frustrate you when you see heavyweights that couldn't touch you in terms of skills, couldn't touch you in terms of ability, and you're watching these guys on TV making crazy amounts of money?
I mean, it's niche markets, isn't it? I think both me and my brother have quite good platforms, really. And we earn good money. Let me be real. I mean, we're not the worst off. I know there's middleweights, light heavyweights that are very good fighters that earn a lot less than what I'm on and what Charlie's on. So it's all about product. It's all about, capturing the audience, I suppose, with
Bingo.
not only your style, but your style outside of the ring and the personality you bring with it. So I think we're doing quite a good job. We're in a good position. We're still a million miles away from where we want to be. You know what I mean? But we're still think Charlie's been a pro for what, 4 or 5 years. I've only been a pro for 3. A lot of top fighters that make it to the very upper echelons of the sport sort of slug away at it for 7, 8, 9, 10 years and then get their break. Do you know what I mean? So we're in as good a position as any.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are 2 of the biggest names in Britain at our weight. Do you know what I mean? I think that's quite obvious, quite clear to see. And if we can keep shedding light on it and making big fights, there's other trailblazers out there doing big things. You know, you've obviously had Carrier fight. You've got people like Jay Harris. There's a few out there. When we all come together, it should be, you know, we should make the money of what all the other fighters are making. I think the biggest problem is because there's a lot more pool of quality of fighters at some of the other weights. Even though we have it at the top level, like it's harder to build your name when you haven't got 10, 15 names that people know on your records. You know what I mean? Which you can do at welterweight. It's hard to do that at the lighter weights. But what's made it worse is because of that, a lot of these fighters, they try and at the lighter weights, they try and hold on to their O's or the fights that are going to really push them out for as long as possible to try and get as much money or as much publicity from it. But how many times they're waiting, and the fight never happens. You know what I mean? The fight falls by, someone retires, someone moves up weight, someone moves down weight. It happens, unfortunately. But it's just the world we live in. I know me and my brother, we've always been game to fight. I can speak for myself personally and say there's never a fight in this world that I'm ever going to turn down. I just want to see what the offer is, you know, what the figures are and what's the belt, and that's all I need to see. There's not no person that I'd look at and be like, no. You know what I mean, it gets a bit frustrating because obviously now obviously BT have got behind me massively. They have a big say on who I fight now because they'll get looked at a fight for an opponent and they'll make the decision really like, no, we're not putting that on. We want Sonny on a TV slot. We can't have that fight on a TV slot. That's happened a couple of times. The Marcel Braithwaite rematch, for example. Some other fights anyone that calls me out, I want to fight. Do you know what I mean? So, like that kid that got beat yesterday, I asked for him and asked the management team, and they went, not a chance, especially not at bantamweight. You know what I mean? They went, BT won't have it. Yeah. So that's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it comes with the territory, doesn't it? Like, you're not just pleasing yourself in your career. You know what I mean? You've got to play the game. But like I said, I'm grateful for the position I've been in. BT have helped build me very well. They've, you know, I think this is the 6th or 7th BT, like live BT slot, and I can't think of another flyweight, super flyweight that's had that exposure. I can't. I mean, my brother was on Sky, obviously doing his thing. Now he's over on BT. I can't think of no one else that's been having that level of constant exposure at my weight. It doesn't really happen.
Yeah, of course. And listen, you know you're at the top of the tree domestically, at least right now, because every other guy in this country in the weight division below seems to want to fight you, or at least talks a good talk on social media anyway.
Well, no, they're not weight below. That's the problem. They're the weights above, and then expecting me to drag up to their weight. Like, I've got super bantamweight champion calling me out, and I was like, all right, then get down to super flyweight. You can have the fight tomorrow. It's no skin off my back. But then I'm apparently avoiding them, where my management team won't even let me go up to bantamweight to fight. So I'm not really a super flyweight. I'm a flyweight. Yeah. As soon as I wanted to make it, I made it, and I was planning to stay there, but I got offered the British. So now here again, once again, because no one in Britain will fight me, I'm fighting at super flyweight again. Yeah.
Asomba, that we touched on it earlier, is riding the crest of a wave into this fight, coming off the back of 2 good wins, 2 good stoppages as well. The McGoldrick stoppage was a good one on the road, both undefeated fighters. So we know he's going to turn up at the studios on Saturday night, fancying this one and coming for it. Firstly, about the opponent himself, did you jump at it? Were you excited by it? Because you know, obviously he's coming to fight and he's coming to put it on the line. And secondly, why is the British title not on the line? Asomba qualifies for the British title, I think. Why are we not seeing a Lonsdale belt defence?
He doesn't qualify.
Didn't he fight for the English?
I said this, and I was basically told because the English counts as where you're licensed to, but the British counts as your actual heritage or something along those lines. Okay. So I didn't know why it weren't. I did ask for the Commonwealth maybe, but there's reasons as to why I'm defending my title, my international title. It just seemed to fit better for a few moving plates. So yeah, like I snapped up straight away. I said, yeah, what date? And I'm ready. You know what I mean? And that's it. I think Asomba's a good, honest pro, tough fighter, and someone that I'm looking forward to sharing the ring with. Someone I've known of for a fair few years now. I was at the Olympics volunteering whilst he was competing. You know what I mean? So at the 2012 Olympics, and I was there spectating my brother win the ABAs when he got to the finals and missed out against Harvey Horn on the split decision. So I've known him for a long, long time. And I think, like I said, he's a good, honest, hard-working pro. So I think his style should gel with mine. I think I suit the people that come and try and pressure me and try and use their strength and bully me. Because a lot of people have tried, not only in fights, but in sparring. And a lot of people struggle. So I'm looking forward to it because it should make me look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'll let you go. Every time you do fight, though, you always show us something a bit different. You've always got a new little trick up the sleeve. What can we look forward to this weekend?
Well, I think more than anything, I'm just glad that both my hands are 100% going into the fight. I mean, that wasn't the case the last time for both my hands. And the 2 times before that with my right hand, I mean, I've been nursing that injury for a while. And you can look at all my fights. Every time I land a good right hand, I've been shaking it out. You can see me wincing. You can see me not taking opportunities. But this is, like I said, the first time in a while. I think that's thanks to lockdown, really, because I could just lay off. Because the reason why I never wanted to be inactive and not take them things is because I don't like the idea of someone stepping over me just because of inactivity. Do you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I was taking opportunities. And that British title one where both my hands were gone, it was, I don't know when this British title shot's going to come again. And that's the truth. I didn't know if it was going to come again because we've been trying so hard to get it. So I just had to take it, roll the dice, and obviously it paid off. And I still won very convincingly, very clearly, albeit not the best performance. I know that, but I just couldn't have the punch output that I normally have. I mean, when you have to pick and choose when you land punches, it's not a good sign. So, like I said, I have no excuses this time. I'm going in there the fittest, the sharpest, and the most ready I've been. So it should be a good night for me.
Exciting, man. Sonny Edwards at 100%. I can't wait. Thank you so much for your time, mate. Much appreciated.
No worries.
Enjoy the next couple of days, and most of all, enjoy Saturday night.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.